Hey brother, is it true that you defended the Holy Land of the Monolith during the Great Invasion? Yes, I was at the station. It was a hell of a day. You mind telling us what happened? We've been here for so long, I was wondering what happened in the other sectors. Alright brothers, may the great Monolith allow me to tell you a good story. That day, a couple other comrades and I were on guard duty at the armory at the station. Everything was quite normal when suddenly a priest burst into the room. He inspected the arsenal, making sure all the weapons were ready for use, and told us to get ready. He was carrying a radio, from which we could hear scraps of messages. These were reports of an assault coming from the south. Some minutes later, a full squad of our soldiers arrived in the armory. From that moment, everything went very fast. The priest quickly gave his orders. Brave warriors of the Holy Monolith, today our crusade will know its turn. The invasion for which we have prepared for so long is coming. A full-scale army of infidels is currently on its way to defile our land, but we will not let them. Our brothers everywhere are already in place waiting to fight for the glory of the Monolith. Onward, comrades, arm yourself, bring your devotion to the battlefield, and follow me onto the roof. And so we did as he commanded. I picked up an RPG and a bag of rockets, and started to run to the stairs. Soon we made it to the roof, where we had the high ground on the battlefield. Even though there was a thick fog all around which reduced visibility, I was still able to see what was happening from above. Our brothers were rushing out of the buildings, weapons in hands, and I saw snipers and rocket launchers on the other rooftops. While everyone was spreading around and getting ready, the priest was still shouting orders and encouraging us. We shall defend the Holy Monolith at all costs, brothers. The enemy is close, they will come from the south. Get ready, brothers, and we shall bring hell upon the infidels. As I was embracing his words, it felt like the Monolith itself was giving me its strength for the fight to come. And it was the same for all of us. The glorious Monolith was shining upon us, and it removed our fear and filled us with determination. Soon enough, the invaders entered our sector. We heard in the radio that a full column of armored vehicles was coming from the road, but I was not really able to see there because of the fog. In fact, it didn't matter, because another danger was approaching from the air, and it was a job to deal with that. We could hear the sounds of the engines growing in the distance, and finally they appeared in sight. A platoon of armored helicopters. A barrage of fire fell around us, as the choppers were unloading their guns onto our positions. We immediately shot back. Rockets were flying everywhere. Many of our warriors were falling here and there, finally uniting with the Monolith. But despite the casualties, we kept fighting, and one by one, we took down all the choppers. One even crashed down on the roof on the nearby reactor. For a brief moment I thought that it was over, that we won. The armored column was resting down there, broken and smoking. Our forces on the ground level had held on as well. In reality, it was far from over. The priest, who was still standing there, stopped praying to the Monolith. The second wave is coming, he said, suddenly pointing his weapon to the sky once again. As we all did the same, I managed to see them. More helicopters. In fact, more helicopters than I had ever seen. At this sight I almost flinched, but the monolith appeared once again in my mind, its warm light filling me with strength and confidence. We stood up, ready to face the invaders once again, and as many times as it would be necessary. At this moment, I was certain that the final victory would be ours. Unfortunately, an explosion violently shook the roof, knocking me down. I tried to get up, but a second explosion, much closer than the first one, occurred right onto the roof. A rocket must have hit directly to our feet, instantly killing most of my squad and sending me flying. My body roughly hit the ground, and I lied there, stunned and in shock. I was battling to stay awake, but my mind was slowly slipping, and my vision fading away. Then it spoke to me. The monolith appeared before me, and it talked to me. I precisely recall everything our holy monolith said. "You have fought well, my brave warrior. Many have died in my name today, but you will not. Rise again, my glorious defender. You may live to fight another day." After that, I remember waking up inside the building. The survivors had set up some sort of hospital for our wounded soldiers, and somehow I ended up there. Outside, a huge blowout was going on. It was its noise that woke me up. The brothers around me were praising the monolith. They thanked him for granting us this miracle storm, which, as I quickly understood, helped to disperse the invaders' forces. I was in pain, yet I could not help but to grin. I thought we had successfully defended the Holy Land. Then I passed out again. When I finally woke up many hours later, I was in a truck on its way to Pripyat. I have no idea what actually happened that day while I was unconscious, but a part of our troops had to be evacuated from the station and relocated here. They told me it was the wish of the monolith. And now we've been here for quite some time, but we've not heard the voice of the monolith ever since that damn day. Oh Monolith, we do not hear you. You were with us on that day, Monolith, but now you are gone. Why have you left us? Oh Monolith. Monolith. Monolith.